Hey guys, I'm back. Obviously, I'm feeling better. It turns out that I just had some weird viral infection, and that's what was making me sick. And the reason my liver function was weird was because I had been sick for a long time in the summer, and I took too much Theraflu, which, for those of you that don't know, can mess with your liver function. So that's what was wrong with my liver, we think. Because my signs are, all my stuff is normal again. I had more blood work done last week and it was normal. So, but yeah, I have a viral infection that should take 4 to 6 weeks to go away. So, I'm feeling better, so that's good. On to the important thing. So when I was 16, there was an article in the newspaper about the haunted basement at the soap factory, and it was like, oh my god, it's so scary, like, you have to sign a liability waiver in case you get hurt because the actors are allowed to touch you, and whatever, like, it's super, super scary, you should go, it's so much fun. And so I'm 19 now, and on Wednesday, my boyfriend and I went, and it was kind of disappointing for me because I was expecting something like super scary, and it wasn't. Now granted, I don't scare easily. I startle easily. Like, if you jump out, I'm gonna be like, ah! But to actually scare me is pretty hard. So we went, and you go down. If anybody's going, you don't want to listen to this because I'm going to spoil it. I'm going to tell you everything that's there, basically, what I remember. So if you haven't gone yet and you're planning to go, you're going to want to turn this off now. So you're in line and you go in groups of 4 every 5 minutes, I want to say. And so you go down these stairs, you open up this black curtain and you go down. And you hold onto this rope. And the first couple minutes of it is you stumbling around in the dark, trying to find your way into the actual haunted house. You go in, there's a person in a mask with a chainsaw or something, I don't remember exactly, that like comes up to you and follows you around with it, and then there's this lady who follows you around and like drags a shovel on the ground and bangs it around. It wasn't really scary. And then there are these people dressed up as creatures and they're on stilts, and they're just like walking around trying to be creepy, which, whatever. You're a person in costume, I know that. It's not gonna scare me. And you go in this other room, and there's this thing sitting on the floor, and it looks like it's like a prop. It's not. It's a girl, and you walk past her, and she gets up, and she, like, crawls after you and, like, grabs onto you and stuff. Whatever. You go into the next room, and there's these like people, these girls dressed up in weird clothes and they're barefoot and they're like talking to you in weird creepy voices and like grabbing on your hair and stuff. Great. And there's a bunch of other rooms. There's one where there's a dinner set and these ladies like talk to you and try to get you to eat stuff and then like follow you around with a butter knife. And then as we were leaving, one of them got like up in my ear and was like, "London Bridge is falling down." Great, you're singing in my ear. That's not creepy. That's just kind of irritating because I'm trying to go to the next room and you're singing in my ear. I don't remember all the rooms. There's one where you have to go underneath this thing that's shooting out water. And there's this little girl, this woman dressed up as a little girl who's like, "Will you play with me? Will you be my new friend? Blah, 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 blah." And like this Sherry Moon, Devil's Rejects kind of voice. And there's one room where there's a guy like screwing stuffed animals. Yeah, scary. And then there's one where they put goggles on you that are blacked out, and they put you up against the wall with your hands up, like you're being arrested. And you stand there, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait. And if you don't take your goggles off, the time you wait there is less. So just stand there and you're waiting, and then they keep your goggles on, they bring you into this other room, and like there are these people around you that are like looking at your fingernails and your hair, and then they dumped water on my hair, which looked better than it does now, because this is kind of flat, but it was all curly and nice and done up really good. And so they dumped water on my hair. They probably thought I was gonna freak out. I'm just like standing there going, I really hope that was water, because I'm gonna be pissed if it was like fake blood or something, because that stains your hair. So yeah, they dumped water on my head, and then they walked me around and put me in a coffin and left me there, and I'm just in there going, okay. Oh, and they sit against it so you can't get out. So you're in this coffin and it's dark, and there's these little things that glow in the dark all on it. I think they're like glow in the dark bugs. I don't know, my eyesight isn't very good, so I couldn't see. And then there are like people behind the coffins like scratching on it and banging on it. Just like in there singing. Actually, I was humming because I was waiting to get out of the coffin. So I'm just in there like, oh, I think I was humming Phantom of the Opera or something. I don't know. And so then they let you out of the coffin, and that was it. Like, there were more rooms, but I don't really remember them because they weren't very interesting. Granted, I did kind of expect a lot from it because I'd heard so much that it was like super scary and like people cry and freak out when they're in it, which I don't get because it's not that scary unless you're freaked out by people grabbing you and touching you and like singing and talking creepy in your ear. I didn't think it was very scary. Granted, I am super hard to scare. I spent most of my childhood Saturdays reading like scary little books and watching R.L. Stein's The Nightmare Room and Tales from the Crypt. And I love horror movies, and I watch them whenever I can. And I worked at a haunted house. And I went to Trail of Terror a couple of years in a row, which isn't scary, but, you know, the scariest part of Trail of Terror is you get lost. You don't know where you're going. But, yeah, I think me working in a haunted house kind of gave me higher expectations. And they weren't met because I knew what to expect having worked in a haunted house before. So for me, going probably wasn't the best idea because I knew what to expect. And so yeah, I didn't think it was scary at all. It was a little bit creepy because you couldn't see anything for the first bit of it because it was dark and there were people like grabbing you and you're just like, oh my god, what touched me? But other than that, it wasn't scary for me. But if you are freaked out by people touching you and like singing in your ear and being like all creepy around you, you know, okay, you'll be scared. You'll be scared. Like, there were people screaming in front of us. The group in front of us, there were a bunch of people freaking out. And I guess they have people that think it's too scary. They said they had 220 people already this month that had to leave because they were too scared, which I kind of find hard to believe. But you know, I guess some people scare easily. I don't. I didn't get scared. It was still fun. It was still really fun. But it wasn't scary. So yeah, I still recommend going. It's still a fun thing to do. But if you're looking for something where you're gonna be really scared, that's not it. Yeah. And like, if anybody has went and they thought it was really, really scary, I'm gonna get like hate comments from you. Fine, I guess I get that some people get scared by stuff like that, but I don't. This is my personal opinion. So don't spam me with shit, because I'll delete it. So there you have my opinion on the Soap Factory Haunted Basement. I hope you have enjoyed it, and yeah, happy Halloween.